Okay, what you saying, people, and welcome back to my channel. Now today we have a slightly different video. We have a trade alert video where I'm going to be giving potential trading setups for next week for AUD/USD, NZD CAD and USDJPY. So make sure you stick to the end of the video for all three pairs. But before we jump into the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and leave a like. And if you haven't already, make sure you join my Telegram channel, because I'll be posting updates throughout the week and potential trading setups, so you don't want to miss out on that. And also make sure you follow me on Instagram, where I'll be posting a lot of Forex related content, different tips and tricks just to help you grow as a Forex trader. So I'll be leaving my Telegram channel and Instagram information down in the description, so make sure you go check that out. But now let me stop talking and let's get into the video. Okay, so I'm going to start with AUD/USD and explain why we have a potential short trading setup on the daily time frame. I'm going to start on the monthly and work our way down to the daily. So on the monthly time frame, you can see that we're in a downwards trend. Price is making those lower highs in the market and making those lower lows. So we're expecting price to go and make another lower high, and for that continuation to the downside, where we expect price to go retest the lows down here, or go again and create another low. So if we draw our trend line, you can see why we have this downwards trend. See, price is testing this trend line once there, rejected, twice there, rejected, a third time, rejected, and now at the same trend line a fourth time. So we can expect price to get rejected and continue that downwards trend. So if we jump to the weekly time frame and we zoom out a little bit, you can see that we're at a significant area in the market where potential reversal could be commencing. So you can see that at this level, prices come down to test it, act as support, rejected, again retest the same level, rejected back up. Price broke through that level and is now back at the same level, and you know when support is broken, it acts as resistance. So currently we're expecting price at this level to act as resistance for price, and we expect this resistance to be respected and the trend line as well, and have that continue down to the downside. So all we're looking for is that price action on the daily time frame for us to get into this market, to anticipate the monthly and the weekly trend to the downside to continue. So currently we're at that resistance on the daily time frame, and you can see that on Friday we had that bearish engulf. If I zoom in, you can see a little bit better. We had that bearish engulfing pattern, so we have that indication that the bears are starting to step into the market. So you can put a short trade on if you're going to trade the daily time frame, and you would have your stop loss above the pattern. So around here you would have your stop loss, and you'd be looking to short the market to continue in that downwards trend. Or if you want to have a slightly tighter stop loss, you can be looking for the 4-hour time frame, then wait for price to go find some support. If it pulls back and then continues down to the downside, then you have your stop loss above where it finds support. But then again, price might continue down to the downside without any pullback, so you might not have an entry there. In that case, you'd have to wait for price to travel a little bit and then go find some support and have a pullback later on, and then you will find your entry to continue to the downside. But for the daily time frame, we have a trade there, and you have your stop loss just above the pattern, where you can anticipate the weekly and the monthly downward trend to continue. Okay, so for NZD CAD, we're looking for potential short trade on the daily time frame, and again we're going to start on the monthly and work our way down to the daily chart. So on the monthly chart, currently we have a downward trend in the market. Price is making those lower highs and making those lower lows. So we're potentially looking at price making another lower high to go down and continue that downward trend in the market. And like AUD/USD, we draw a trend line, and you can see why we have that downward trend. Price is getting rejected from this trend line. You can see you have 1, 2, 3, and now possibly a fourth, and a continuation back to the downside if that trend line is respected. So if we jump to the weekly chart, you can see that we're at a good place in the market where potential reversal is possible. If I highlight the area, you can see that price has moved up, come back down to this area in the market, acted as support, rejected, broke through, again acted as resistance here, and continue down to continue that downwards trend. So now we're back up at that same place in the market, and we're expecting price to hold at this level and reverse and continue that downwards trend in the market. And we can already see signs of that happening with this week's candle, which have a long wick to the upside. So at one point price was all the way up here, breaking through that resistance, but then the bearish pressure rejected that price and it closed below our resistance. So we're expecting that area in the market to hold and for price to reverse and have that downwards trend. So now we jump to the daily where we look for our price action, and you can see that we had a ranging pattern here. Price will start between these two levels, then eventually we had that breakout, and if I zoom in you can see price had that breakout to the upside on Thursday, that big bullish candle, and probably just knocked people's stop losses and trick people into thinking that we were having a bull rally to the upside, where you can see that the next candle, which is Friday, closed bearish and completely retraced the whole of that bullish candle. So that was a good sign that there was a false breakout, because you can see that the next candle just completely retraced the whole candle, which is a typical pattern. And so now we're expecting the price to continue to the downside now that we have that rejection. But again, if you're looking for a 4 hour time frame, you can wait for price to go find some support, which could be around here, where you can see we have those wicks, and continue to the downside. But if you're taking this from a daily time frame, you'd want your stop loss just above the pattern around there, giving yourself a little bit of room to work with, and then you can be looking to short the market. And on the 4 hour, a good place to look for a potential support is if the market retraces all the way back up to here, and we can see we have that wick. Stop loss can be above it there, and then you can look for the trade. But again, obviously that might not happen on Monday's open of the market. It could just continue in that bearish momentum to the downside, and obviously there won't be a pullback there. But in that case, you look for a pullback later on in the market, the 4 hour time frame or the 1 hour time frame, to continue that downwards trend. But for the daily, we have our price action. We can place our stop loss above the pattern and look for our short entries. And now we're on to USDJPY, which is the final pair we're going to take a look at. Again, we're going to start on the monthly, work our way down to the daily, where we have a possible long trade. So we start on the monthly chart. You can see that we have this area in the market where price is giving us all these wicks. So you can see that this area in the market is of some significance. Price has been trying to break it for some time on the monthly time frame, and it's keep getting rejected. So we're expecting to see a reaction around that area. And if you take a look on the weekly, you can see that area a bit better. Price has come into that level, formed a support, rejected all the way back up, and you can see by the shift of bearish pressure to bearish momentum to the bullish momentum that this level has a lot of significance. And then we had that wick all the way down to the same support, rejected all the way back up, again back into support, rejected, come into support, rejected, back up, and now we're back into that same support. We're expecting rejection and a rally to the upside. And if we jump to the daily chart, we can see that we had that big bullish candle to the upside, engulfing almost 4 candles. So you can see there's a big shift from bearish to the bullish momentum, which is a sign that we expected because it is a very significant level. And we also have this trend line on the daily chart with one touch here, see a rally to the upside, second touch here, rally to the upside, now a third touch here, we're expecting another rally to the upside. So that's what we could be looking for USDJPY, potential long trade to the upside. And we do have that big bullish candle indicating there's been a shift from bears to bulls. So there is a possibility that we could be having a new uptrend on USDJPY. But we do have to be wary of the daily resistance nearby, because you can see here price has acted as come down here to this level, and that level was acted as support. We had that rally to the upside, come back down again, price acted as support, and price broke through it, and now it's come back to that same area. So again, when support is broken, it's now resistance. But obviously we're coming from a weekly weekly support, which is stronger than obviously the daily resistance. But then again, it is still daily resistance. It does have some significance in the market, so you have to be wary of this level. So it could be a case where price fails to break that level and we get a move back down to the downside before we get a break. But again, we could have a break of that level. In that case, we might be having 4 hour or 1 hour entries when price retests that level, and you can look to ride it up. But if you take it on the daily time frame, you can take it on this this engulfing candle, and your stop loss will be below the pattern, so around here, giving it a bit of room, and then you can look for potential long trades on this bullish candle to the upside. Okay, so that's the end of the video, people. So I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you have, make sure you hit the like button and make sure you subscribe as well. If you disagree or if you have any questions, leave a comment and I'll get back to you. But till the next one, I'll see you later.